It's a new year! Yay! So tell me, what are your new year goals? Mine are finally committing to a university career and maybe, just maybe, get more than 20 subscribers on this channel.
There's my kite doing, Smithers.
It's soaring majestically, sir.
So we'll see what happens first. So in the first video of this channel I say the next line. So that put me on this mission of completing all Souls games. And I stand by it.
Why don't you get a job?
So in today's video I'm going to platinum the game that started it all. The one and only Demon Souls. Released in 2009 for the PlayStation 3, being to this day one of the few truly exclusives of the console, and being the precursor of what we know today as a Souls game. So let's put this piece of gaming history in. Take a moment to hear that sound. Ah, beautiful. This game is packed with 38 trophies, and more than half of them are story related. Anyway, I didn't want to spoil anything, so I just took a quick glance at them and just started the game for the first time. So the Demon Slayer journey begins. I create my character. Isn't it funny how older games instead of using a normal keyboard use this kind of flip phone keyboard? So I choose the Barbarian class cause I'm going to do my go-to build, the Boink build. So we face the tutorial boss and defeat it, warping to the true tutorial boss. And are those his eyes? I don't know about you, but that makes this boss look kinda silly. So of course he kills us and we warp to the Nexus. The Nexus, no, not that one, works as a hub for the player, like the round table hold for Elden Ring or Majula for Dark Souls 2, and from there you can access every level or world through the archstones that work as portals for each instance. Of course, there's some heavy lore of why these archstones are here, but I'm not going to focus on the lore of this game, there's already tons of videos talking about that. So there are 6 archstones. One of them is broken, and the other 5 are the Archstone of the Covetous Kings, the Archstone of the Borrowed King, the Archstone of the Tower Queen, the Archstone of the Shadow Man, and the Archstone of the Chieftain. And each one of them is subdivided into other Archstones or checkpoints that appear after defeating a boss. So we first go to the Voltarian Palace. There we face our first boss. The fight is not hard at all, at least for an experienced player, and after it we are presented with our first trophy. We warp back to the Nexus and we are presented to the Maiden in Black.
Oh God, it's so good. So good.
Who tells us to go meet the Monumentals. We go and talk to him, who explains us how things work around here. So we go back to the Voltarian Palace and keep advancing through the level, where I offer my help for a second time to a character named Ostrava of Voltaria, the king's son. So we reach the end of the section and face our second boss, the Tower Knight, that for some reason I don't have any clip of the fight, but it was kind of the last giant fight in Dark Souls 2. Anyway, they gave us our second trophy, the Tower Knight. Right there we learned that in order to advance through the level, we have to finish one of the other levels first, so we move to the second one. Oh, look, she's doing the thing, the thing with the feet. Oh man, you can tell this game is Japanese. Is that racist?
It's a joke. When you give me that look, it's a joke.
So we make our way through it, and it's a pretty long way until we reach the boss, the Armor Spider, who we kill out of pure luck and brute strength, giving us the next trophy. So I tried to follow through the level, but suddenly it became really hard, so I got kind of lost and jumped to the third level. Made my way through the first zone, that it's a prison and kind of a maze, cause you have to go back and forth to get out of there. So once out, we meet a funny fella inside some kind of cathedral that I did not kill cause my philosophy on this game is do not kill anyone who is not an immediate threat. And right there we found the special key that opens the cell of the Sage Freak. We go back to the cathedral and face our first Black Phantom, that are like the invaders of this game. We fight the first boss of this level, the Full Sidle. She gets unalived very fast, but she revived every time I beat her. Turns out that the funny fella that we met before was reviving her the whole time. So we peacefully and carefully explain to him his mistake. Then we go back to fight the idol, and with her fall comes the next trophy. After that, some kind of demons take us to the Archstone of the Idol. Our Demon Slayer advances through the new zone, we break some giant chains and free some kind of heart, opening the way to the demon of this zone. And this is what I see in my nightmares. Long story short, I died. Like a lot. This is a double boss, and the fight occurs on a bridge where you can fall, and if that's not enough, the Man-Eater makes a launching attack that can knock you out of the ring. So I went back to the second level, and since I have leveled up a little, I thought that I could try my luck with the boss of that zone. And man, how mistaken I was. I didn't record my deaths, but there were a lot. I surrendered and went to the Wikipedia searching for help. Turns out this is one of the hardest boss for a melee build like mine, but with the correct equipment I could absorb almost all of the damage, and that made the fight super easy. Once he's beaten, we get the Flamelurker's trophy. Now, without even trying to get the last boss of the second Ashton, I went to the Shrine of Storms and made my way to the first boss, and it has to be one of the easiest fights, not of the game, but of all the Souls games. So another demon destroyed, another trophy earned. We keep advancing through the level and we have a very polite, very respectful introduction to Patches. Love you, pal. Down the hall where Patches throw us, we meet Saint Irvine. We van out of life the Black Phantom that was keeping him hostage and go upstairs. Now of course everyone will want to kill Patches, but I advise not to. Turns out that he sells infinite moongrass at super cheap prices, so it's best to keep him alive. Immoral? Sure thing, but the man knows how to sell. What are you gonna do? So the next section was pretty tough, so I decided to go to another level. Blighttown Beta, or as they like to call it, Valley of Defilement. Ugh. So you can imagine that this level is as shitty as Blighttown. Anyway, we advance through the level, facing the most annoying little shits that you can imagine, and reach the first boss, the Leechmonger, that falls under thirst for souls and gives us another trophy. After this, I felt prepared to face the Man-Eater again. I wasn't dealing much damage, but after a lot of tries, I finally killed the first one. Now, it was just a matter of killing the remaining one, and I'm dead. After a few more tries, I got the first one again, and finally, I got him. Ah, that trophy feels especially good to hear. I'm not playing. This was tough, difficult. The Dark Souls of Demon Souls bosses. After dealing with this crap, the rest of the game will be easy. I hope. Now I did some changes to my build to finally go full bonk mode, with the mid cleaver that scales on S level with strength and dexterity. Now it was time to face the last boss of the Tower of Latria, an old monk. Surely a formidable warrior that... nope, he dead. We get the trophy, and now that I have killed my first archdemon, we can go back to Voltaria and open that door, where a sinister fat official is waiting for us. We follow the fast bastard through the city. On the way we get the official's cap and save Ostrava for a third time.
This is the third time.
Yes, that is what I just say, man. Aren't you paying attention? We keep following the fat official to the fog, and now it's finally time to make him suffer for making me walk so much. And oh shit, no. Should have seen that one coming. Anyway, while I fight this dude that misses everything, tell me, how you doing? Good? Are you eating or preparing for bed? Maybe working? I sure like to watch videos at work. Tell me on the comment section. So well, another bad example of a boss is slayed and another trophy is obtained. With rhymes and everything, son. Up ahead we find Ostrava for a last time. He ends himself because he couldn't save his father, so he gave us a key and the mission to kill his father. And now we have to fight his Black Phantom form. Truly one of the saddest endings for a Souls NPC. Now we go up the elevator and face the last boss of the Voltarian Palace, the old King Galant. It was a tough fight. He's fast and make a lot of damage, and I'm slow and I don't have much HP. And every time you try to heal, he makes a powerful attack. But in the end, I got him. On the first try too. Another trophy to the sack. Now, using the key that Ostrava gave us, we open the mausoleum and face the old King Doran, one of the toughest enemies in all Souls games. And he isn't even a boss. He can easily one-shot you. I mean, look at that. Even with warding spell, he double-shot me. He has a ton of life, and he can cure himself whenever he wants. So after dying countless times, I gave up and found a strategy to kill him easily. Basically, you have to lure him out to a point where his AA breaks and he no longer attacks you. From there, you just have to hit him to keep moving him to a nearby stair where you're going to push him down. And this was so funny that I decided this is the lore accurate way to defeat the Old King. We get the Old King trophy, and to me one of the best rings in the game. Back to the Stonefang tunnel we go to defeat the last boss of the area, the very same funny looking dragon that killed us on the tutorial. So he's kind of a puzzle boss. You have to advance through a small corridor and he attacks every now and then while you break some fallen pillars on the way to a conveniently placed giant crossbow. We shoot the dragon, and right after we go to the other side of the arena to shoot the other crossbow, leaving the dragon god ready for the final blow. That is, of course, another trophy for us. Back to the Shrine of Storms we go, so we can face the next boss, the old hero. And it sure is a strange boss. He's blind and it's really easy to dodge and attack him. And with my build, I can fully tank every attack he lands. Soon enough he falls and we get another trophy. Right after the old hero, we face the Storm King. This fight is something like the Yorm fight in Dark Souls 3, where you need the Storm Ruler to defeat him. Well, I didn't know that, so I just kept shooting him with my bow, and just like that, the king is dead. Now we go back to the effing Blighttown beta, and if the little shits that are there were annoying, the big brothers of them are even worse. They hit like a drunk father and have a lot of HP. So we reach the end of the section and fight another boss. No big deal, we make decent damage and we still can tank each one of his attacks. So he falls, we get the trophy, we keep going. And now we have to fight the maiden Astrea, or well, her bodyguard, who hits like a truck, but with a simple hit and run technique, we kill him. Now we simply talk to Astrea and she decides to end her journey through life. And of course we get the trophy. Now with every boss killed, we return to the Nexus and the way to the last boss gets opened. We talk to the maiden and down the hall we go. We end up in some kind of beach where the old one, the very first demon, comes to us. And look at that shit.
It's Gineminosaurus.
We go inside the old one and are immediately faced with two paths. Either be a demon who will forever be in search of souls, or obey the monumental. In any way, we now face the saddest boss in any of the Souls games, the true King Galant.
Brother, what's that?
Who is now a bloated brown mass that can't even attack us. We get him out of his misery and pick the Soul Brain, which once was his weapon. I decided to take the good ending this time and went back to the Nexus, and it's a pretty good ending, I gotta say. We hit the credits and automatically start the New Game Plus, and we get the last story-related trophy. So before continuing, I want to talk a little bit about the game. In a condensed way, the game is really good. I mean, of course you can feel the years, but it's still a great experience. Either you play it on emulator or on the original PS3, I think that any Souls enjoyer who still hasn't played it will like it. Also, it's really easy. I'd say it's the easiest out of the Souls games, but of course that depends on your experience on the franchise. If it's the first Souls you play, of course it's going to be pretty hard, but overall I loved it. So well, let's continue to chase the remaining trophies. So we began the New Game Plus, go straight to Voltarian Palace and we kill Phalanx to unlock the Maiden in Black. We level up a bit and now we kill ourselves! So it's time for some explaining. Demon Souls has a mechanic called World Tendency. The World Tendency is different depending on which Archstone you are. So you have two levels, Pure Black World Tendency and Pure White World Tendency, and depending on which one you are, the world will change in some aspects. The most common one in Pure White World Tendency is that some items will be available to be picked up. Or for Pure Black World Tendency, certain black phantoms will appear in the world. Also, there are other changes, but in general, when in Pure White World Tendency the game is easier and in Pure Black World Tendency the game is harder. So for certain trophies we need Pure White World Tendency in each level, and the only way to achieve it is to kill the bosses and black phantoms from each level. But if you die while in human form, the World Tendency turns to the black side, and without multiplayer to keep killing black phantoms, once you kill all bosses, if your World Tendency is not pure white, it's literally impossible to get it. So to avoid this, each time we become human, we're going to kill ourselves in the Nexus so we can keep the soul form that has no penalization when dying. So we continue through Voltarian Palace facing the various little enemies and... Thank you, Demon Souls. So it turns out that enemies in the New Game Plus are stupidly stronger. Almost anything can and will one-shot you. In general, if you're as stupid as I am, you will die a lot on New Game Plus. Yet again, we face the Tower Knight and continue to the next zone. So that was quite impossible with the slowest weapon I use. So I tried to change the build a bit and got the trophy of hardness by fully upgrading the weapon with Hearthstone. So yeah, anyway, that didn't end up as I expected, and oh man, I fucking hate dogs on every Souls games. So we go back to the old formula and advance through the level until we get the Iron Ring of Keys. We use them to open a door back where the Tower Knight was. Down there we kill an official and obtain the Bloody Iron Key, and since we're there, we save an NPC called Bior, who kind of reminds me of someone. I don't exactly know who though. So we use the Bloody Iron Key where the dogs are and reach a tower. We go up and obtain 2 rings that are necessary for the Rogue Trophy. So we scratch those 2 from the list and now we equip the Fat Official cap that we obtained on the first run. So the official that is upstairs lowers the stairs for us. We kill him and now we can free Yuria, who will sell us necessary spells for the Sage Trophy. Now we go to the second level and unlock the Blacksmith Ed. We face the Armor Spider again and man, it was tough. I died a few times and it seemed that there was no way to defeat her, until I remembered something. Just block. Shields on these games are OP, you can tank almost any attack when blocking. So I did that and the Armor Spider was done for. Now we keep going down and use the same strategy for the Flame Lurker, and look at that, I ate the full blown but got no damage. So with the Flame Lurker defeated, we go straight to the Dragon God and as before we shot him a few times and he's dead. And now that we are in Pure White World Tendency, we can go up and now we can access this weapon that was blocked before, so we can scratch the Dragon Bone Smasher from the list for the Soldier's Trophy. Now we're going to show the weapon to an NPC that also appears only in pure white war tendency, and he will give us a pure greystone. So using a glitch, I'm going to duplicate the item and use it to fully upgrade one of the best weapons for a strength build, and on the way I got the Master's Basher trophy. Back to the Tower of Latria, we pick up the key to free the Sage Freak and kill the old man. So we use the key to liberate Freak, so he can teach us some more magic tricks. Now we go kill the full cycles and yeah. Nice. So we kill her and go to Upper Latria, where we're going to find the Fragrant Ring, so we can scratch it from the list. Now we free the heart and we are ready to fight the Man-Eater, and if before it was hard, now it was impossible. So I try to make a little build with the Morion Blade and the Clever Ring, which increases our damage by 60% and 50% respectively, with the downside that our HP must be below 30%. So we activate the ring and the sword and go up to fight the Man-Eaters, and yeah, that happened. The damage was really low and they kept one-shotting me, so I went for another strategy and used the Firestorm spell. Using this I managed to kill the first Man-Eater consistently, and soon enough the second one also fell. We keep going up and quickly kill the old monk. And now we have reached pure white war tendency. So we go up the first tower, and since we have pure white war tendency, now there's a bridge on this gap, so we can keep going up to find the key to free Rydell. So we go back to the prison and open the door, and then he will give us the Dull Rat's Ring. Now we go to the Shrine of Storms and we're going to use a little trick, a little skippity skip. And right there we're going to get the Regenerator's Ring. We kill the Adjudicator and ahead we're going to get thrown down by Patches.
Don't hold it against me, eh?
So we can free the priest, which is going to teach us all the miracle. And since we already have pure white war tendency, laying on the ground we're going to find the magic sword Makoto. We face again the one and only Godal Blyton Beta Alpha build, and there's a few things to do here. We get down as fast as we can until we reach this bridge over here, and since we are in pure white war tendency there's gonna be a ladder. So we go up, face a giant, and keep going up until we reach a zone where we have to kill 3 giants. We kill them all and we can now retrieve the weapon Istarel. We kill the Lichmonger and now we keep going until we find this little isle with a giant. We go to this direction and eventually we're going to find the Black Phantom. We kill her. Okay, I can explain this. I'm stupid. We kill her and right behind her there's a tiny island with a body that contains the cat ring. We keep going and oh my god, this game is bullshit. Anyway, in the next zone we go all up until we find a Slag Nest. We have to hit it until it falls, and then back down we're going to find the Sword of Moonlight. We keep going to the fight with the Dirty Colossus. It gets defeated and now we can access the last battle again. We defeat the bodyguard and let Astrea defeat herself. From the previous Hearthstone we go back down and we are going to find Garl Vinland again, but this time in the Black Phantom form. So a few points to the head later he's dead and we'll drop his weapon, the Brammed. Now we're finished with all the things to acquire in pure white war tendency, so now we have to obtain pure black war tendency. So how do we do that, you may ask? We kill ourselves. We have to do this in human form, so we use the Stone of Ephemeral Eyes every time we need and we keep doing it about 7 times. Now that we have reached pure black war tendency, on the swamp near the entrance of the second zone, we will find Garl's sister as a Black Phantom. Now Black Phantoms are tough, even more in New Game Plus. Luckily for us, there's a consumable called Soul Remains that will attract their attention, so we can avoid being attacked. Sometimes it works like a charm like now, and some other times they don't care much about them. Once dead, she'll drop the special weapon Blind. The next thing I did was going back to the Voltarian Palace to reach the Blue Dragon. I positioned myself under it and with quite a few arrows I killed it, obtaining another trophy. Back to the item search, my next stop was the Stonefang Tunnel. I needed to reach pure black war tendency, so I used the same strategy as before. Once I obtained a pure black war tendency, right before the fight with the Firelurker on a ledge, we're going to find a Black Phantom. This is the toughest motherfucker you're going to find. You make no damage and he can heal himself multiple times. With a bit of patience and committing, he dies, and leaves behind the Talisman of Beasts. Now we're going to do the same on the Tower of Latria, and once we get pure black war tendency back in the prison, we're going to find Rydell, but now as a Black Phantom. Once dead, he drops the phosphorescent pole. Now we're going to get pure black war tendency on the Shrine of Storms. And once we do, at the beginning of the level, Satsuki as a Black Phantom is going to be waiting for us, and once dead, he will drop the Hitless Sword. Since we've been killing so many Black Phantoms, now our character tendency has turned to pure white. So if we go to the Monumental and talk to him, he's going to give us the Friends Ring. And for the last ring, we're going to go to the full side of Ashton. Following the trail after the first tower, we're going to find Yurt, the Silent Chief. Once we free him, we're going to kill him. Now we need to get our character tendency all the way to pure black. And how are we going to do that? Simple, killing NPCs. So we start the massacre, disciples, apprentices, and merchants until we get pure black. And once we do, a new NPC is going to appear on the Nexus, Mephistopheles. Now she has a simple mission for us, kill everyone in the Nexus. So we hunt everyone, and once we do, she's going to give us the Foes Ring. With this done, we have now the Rogue's Trophy. Since we need to reset them all, we need to finish the run, so we kill the old king, then the king gallant, but this time I kill the maiden in black in order to get the beast demon souls. We are back on the Nexus, so you know the drill. We go to the Voltarian Palace, rushing past everything, and just take a moment to see this absolute piece of dodging cinema. We kill Phalanx and back to the Nexus. Now we have to kill the Man-Eater for a third time, since we need to get to the old monk to duplicate his soul, since we need 4 of them to get all miracles and spells. And man, I won't go through the Man-Eaters for a 4th time. So we kill the full Sidle, free the heart, and now for the first time ever I got the 2 Man-Eaters on the first try, thank god. So now we are free to kill the old monk and get the yellow demon soul. Now I needed the flame lurker soul so we can get the special weapons from the blacksmith Ed. So we kill the armor spider and quickly get to the flame lurker. Next up is on the Shrine of Storms to free Saint Urban. We go talk to him and learn all miracles and we get the trophy. Or maybe not. Turns out there's like a secret miracle. So when you have pure black hole tendency on any Archstone, these like bugs will appear and once killed they drop a colorless demon soul. So we duplicate it to avoid farming, and now finally we learn the last miracle and obtain the Saint's Trophy. Now to obtain the Sage's Trophy, it's basically the same. You go with Yuria to learn all the spells that she offers, and then you do the same with Sage Freak, and there you go, Sage Trophy. Now I went in search for the Solier Trophy, where we have to obtain all unique weapons of the game. So we gather all the necessary base weapons to upgrade, either base weapons or weapons leveled up to certain levels. Then we go to the blacksmith Ed and upgrade them all, and since we already have collected all the special weapons in every world, we get the Solier Trophy. Now all we have left are the trophies related to upgrades, on which we have to upgrade any weapon to its max level using the different kind of stones in the game, and that's a little tricky. Let me explain. We have 14 kind of stones, and on each category we have 3 or 4 levels of stone, from shards to pure stone, and a lot of them are easy to get, and using the duplication glitch you don't have to worry too much, but some of them are quite hard to obtain, and maybe you can get to a point where you can't even get them. But the award to the hardest one to obtain goes to the pure blaze stone. It has an insanely low drop rate, and I tried for quite a few hours to get one, but I didn't succeed, until I found a strategy that worked like a charm. To do it you need to kill the old hero, get the talisman of beast, and use the soul sucker spell. Then from the old hero Archstone in pure black world tendency you're going to backtrack until you reach a zone where a black phantom of a skeleton is waiting. You have to position yourself right behind him and use Soul Sucker. This will instantly kill him, and with about 10 attempts I got the pure blaze stone. That, as usual, I didn't record when I got it. We go back to blacksmith Ed and start the upgrade, getting one by one all the trophies.
Do come back. Walk alone.
And after we get all of them, finally there it is, our platinum. Ah man, this was hard. It took about 50 hours, but I got it. And of course, I'm going to put a well-deserved sticker on it. So this is it. Another Souls goes by. What will be next? Maybe a certain game with a strange fixation on blood. Who knows? I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please subscribe, leave a like, tell me in the comments if you will try to get this platinum, and if you want to see more, here you have more videos. See you on the next one. Have a great new year.